Welcome to Driving Immersion. This is the immersive racing experience. Studio 397's Le Mans Ultimate is the best detailed simulation of the World Endurance Championship. You're about to watch the one and only 24 hours of Le Mans in segments. We will be racing in Le Mans Ultimate using as much of its simulation factors to be as close to the racing as possible. We drive from the cockpit using a Fanatec CSL DD Plus wheel and load cell pedal set without any assists except for what exists in the car. There are collisions and damage, tire wear, and fuel use, including virtual energy. Enjoy the sights and sounds under the sun that is only Le Mans. Give us a like and click on subscribe now so that you don't miss out on any of it. Volume up and let's go.
Our 24th stint. And right now there's a lot of wear going on with the front tires. It's very possible that they may just be a little too soft and getting overheated. So let us bring that up just 1.5 pounds and see what that does. If it does prevent them from wearing out prematurely, we will do that with the rears as well. So from 21 to 22.5. 31 seconds for repair. We did hit the barrier pretty hard, and we have a broken suspension on the right front of the vehicle. That may be why there's a little bit of extra wear. So here we go. 72 seconds here for this pit stop. We are now one lap behind leader, the number 36 Alpine. And if you are just rejoining or joining the series here, we are one of 2 hypercars left with roughly 6 hours left to go, 5 hours left to go in the race. So 296 laps out of a projected 383. I believe we have 6 more stints calculated or predicted.
Yes, it's 11:19 a.m. here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. With just a little over 5 hours left in the race, we are going to have to use strategy to get back up to the number 36 Alpine. Throughout the night, we had been leading very comfortably in the number 8 Toyota, but with a couple of crashes in the most recent stints when the sun came up, we had lost a lot of time coming in and doing repairs.
We continue to fade back. This is going to be a long pit stop, but again, we did have damage that we were circling around with. In gear, on the ground, and we are rolling. We also had a stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane on the last stint. So we've got quite a ways to go here to get back up to the leader.
Again, always looking forward to the next stint to see if we can somehow erase past mistakes and problems. So here we go. This is the number 36 down the Mulsanne Straight and coming into the first chicane. That is one of the LMP2s, and I think that is the lead LMP2 just ahead of him. And out of the Mulsanne corner. Again, there are only 2 hypercars left in the field, and they have lapped the LMP2 class as well as the GT3s. Here is the number 8 trying to get heat back into those new tires. Down the Mulsanne Straight, there is an LMP2 just behind. And right now, Mars Medina in the number 8 Toyota GR010 is 1 minute and 34 seconds behind the leading number 36 Alpine. Back to the Alpine, he is just about to enter the Porsche S's. With this turn to the right, you'll see the Porsche banner there in the lawn, or the grass. So since about 4 a.m. During the race, the Alpine has been lapping very well without any mistakes. If you get a chance, you can watch the racing just before nightfall, and you'll see that both of the Alpines had really bad lap times, and there were a lot of crashes. In fact, a crash into the barrier there in the Mulsanne corner. And obviously, the number 35 has retired from the race quite some time ago, again, possibly to running out of fuel on the track. if you are just joining the series here at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, you can refer to the previous stints earlier in the race, and you will see that a lot of the hypercars had retired just before entering the pit lane entry, so between the Porsche S's and pit lane. And we take that as having run out of fuel before being able to come in and pit. Back to the LMP2s. This is the leading LMP2 of Oliver Jarvis, the number 22. And he is 2 minutes and 47 seconds ahead of the second place, number 24 LMP2 here that we see. A little bit closer is the third place, number 37 LMP2. This is the fourth place LMP2, the number 9. And you can see here that he is nearly lapping the fifth place LMP2 as he comes out of the Tetra Rouge corner. And we are briefly looking back at all of the LMP2s currently left in the field. Again, there are 10 of them at this time of the race. Back to the number 8 Toyota. Right now we are having a very quick sector in Sector 1, coming around the first place GT3, the number 77 Mustang. He has been in first place for most of the race as early as nightfall. You cannot break the
GT3s because they are heavier cars. But the LMP2s, slight chance.
This is the second place GT3, the BMW, and it looks like they are in the pits right now for a refuel and perhaps a change of tires. Third place GT3, this Mustang, and these three have been in the lead of the race for most of the night and into the early morning here. This is the fourth place GT3. Fifth place Ferrari. There is one Lexus, one Corvette, and two Ferraris left in the race. This is the number 78 Lexus. Looking further back in the GT3 field here, you can see that they are very far apart from each other now. On board with the number 8, a lot of traffic coming through Arnage. And again, we are desperately looking for a very clean stint here with the number 8. A lot of spins and crashes due to tire wear or improper temperature.
Save it, save it. All right. Not too bad.
Another close one. Again, a lot of weight transfer going on through that curve.
I took too long to decide which way I was going to try to get around the LMP2. And that delayed our turn-in.
That is the area of 25 and turn 26. This is 32 and 33 as we exit out to cross the start-finish line. Again, a couple of LMP2s just ahead of us in traffic. Turn 1 here, the sweeping right-hander Also a very complex area as there is a lot of weight transfer just before the braking zone. And that is where the number 8 here had just spun twice in the previous stint, causing a lot of damage, including suspension. And we got to see that it did cost us 71 seconds to get everything fixed, recharged, and back on the road.
That slowed both of us down.
Again, having a look around the track, you can see that the sun is full sun, and we were expecting an overcast day at about 80 degrees. And it is nearly noon, as you can see in the shadows. We are currently running this game in Ultra Everything, or the highest settings, so it's doing very well. From the dash of the number 8, see the track is lined by trees and shrubs and foliage. Coming into Indianapolis, a very quick right-hander, touch the curb to the right, brake very, very hard, just to the point where you are locking up, but not locking, obviously. You're going to carefully exit out, and we are going to make a very slow right-hander through Arnage. Accelerate out, and it is going to be full throttle until we get to the Porsche S's. Again, a very clear track for the number 8 right now, which is fantastic as we are trying to gain time here. Very disappointing morning for the number 8 as we had been in the lead for most of the night, very commandingly over the competitors in the hypercar class. That is the Corvette GT3. He is last in the GT3 class. Exiting out of the Ford curves, the Porsche curves, we come into the Ford curves, which is a couple of chicanes. That's 31 and 32 and 33. There is pit lane to the right, and the grandstands on the left and right. Very well lit throughout the whole night here at Le Mans. And there the transition from turn 2 to turn 3.
Time remaining 5 hours.
There's just enough time to stab the throttle and keep the car going a little bit faster instead of just waiting for turn 3. Got to save that little extra time. And in fact, if you don't do that, you'll probably lose about 3 or 4 seconds for the entire lap, just that little section. Keeping the car going and accelerating in that very short distance does keep the rhythm through that first section until you get to Tetra Rouge. Again, very important. When we exit Tetra Rouge, we will be going full throttle into the first chicane here on the Mulsanne straight. Down to third gear.
So we have the leaderboard turned off.
Second
and it
gear.
looks like the Alpine may have come in.
Oh, very quick stab on the brakes as the McLaren got in the way.
We have managed to unlap
a very
ourselves.
good exit.
Yes, there he is. Just a little ways behind us.
And we got to see very quickly there that we are not lifting or coasting. We are actually braking as late as we can.
Fast laps now.
Again, trying to put fast laps in, and we do require them to be consistent. It is how far back the number 36 is on the lap. He is actually ahead of the number 8. And this is, again, Indianapolis and Arnage. Just a slow double left and right hand corners. Here is the number 36. Not very far behind at all. That car that you see back there behind the number 8 is the LMP2. The number 36 should be just coming into the picture as we are turning in here. Again, these are the Porsche S's. Done incorrectly, you could be losing a lot of time. They are all interconnected corners. And we must keep our speed up here. There is pit lane entry. And again, here comes the number 36, so you can see just how close he is. The cars that you hear exiting into the background is the GR010 Toyota and the LMP2 right behind him. So there is the timing there on the last lap. The number 8
tires actually
did a 3:37 with the number 36 Alpine coming in for a pit stop. That is a 4:54. And that is basically how we regained our lap back. So we are actually on the same lap as this car here in the lead. Again, it's very close behind the number 8. There we got to see them. A very quick look behind in the first chicane.
Looking at the time of his last lap, which included the pit stop, he may have put on new tires. Or had some repair done.
Yes, behind the wheel, we are actually watching the timing here between the two cars so we can see exactly what we need to do.
That timing shows that he is close by 8.5 seconds.
And you can actually flip through a lot of information there on the lower left of your screen. What we're looking at now is the timing between the cars that are currently on the track, in front and behind of the number 8. So the second place LMP2 is 16 seconds ahead. The second place GT3 is 3 seconds ahead. And that is that car just up there in sight. And further down the timing, you can see there the first place hypercar of Nicolas Lapierre, 8 seconds behind. Again, not very far at all. Very dodgy here with the BMW.
Oh, no spin.
Almost put us into a spin, and there was a slight collision.
That was not a good interaction with the GT3.
No Alpine there. However, it did cost us a little time, and we will see that in just a little bit. Yes, I know that was the Lexus just up ahead of the number 8 here, just with the exhaust note. A very different exhaust note. I think the closest one would be the Corvette with the V8, as both cars have V8s. But very distinct for the Lexus.
There he is.
Again, very easy to lock up the front right under braking coming out to turn 1, as the right side of the vehicle is unweighted. I think if you do that too much, you will find that you will spin. Best thing to do is just brake very moderately to start with, and as the vehicle straightens out, press the brake even harder. But you do have to wait for that weight transfer out of turn 1. We tried to tune it out in so many ways here at Le Mans, but the only way to do it is to brake moderately and then heavier as you go as the car straightens out. The only way.
Car feels very good.
Now, we haven't been paying attention because we are not trying to save fuel or virtual energy, but the last lap cost us 8.43% of our virtual energy load. And right now, if we keep burning energy at that level, we will only make 11 laps on the stint. Again, that is something that we are having to go with in order to see if we can make up time on the number 36. The only other way is to slow down and save on coming in and refueling and recharging.
So we are looking at all the data available to us. Right now he is 9.7 seconds behind on the track. And we are just getting up to about 10 once he comes through the Mulsanne corner. But right now this lap is 1 second faster than our fastest lap for the stint.
Yes, but right now, according to timing, going fast is not really getting us too far ahead of the number 36. Again, the only option is to slow down and save on pit time, go an extra lap on the stint, but that is a very long gamble with a difficult way to see if it will actually get us up to the 36. So right now we're just trying to go fast to see if we can make something of it.
So his last lap was about a tenth of a second faster than our last lap. So he's definitely up to speed here.
Yes, the number 36 is going very fast, much faster than he was going through the night.
It will not do us any good to be saving fuel.
At this point, he is giving us a very good race, which is something that we sorely expect, as the other cars have retired. He is, again, the only car we are racing with.
That was not good.
If the 36 were to retire at this point, we would be racing with the LMP2s, which are more than 3 or 4 laps behind at this point. And that certainly wouldn't make a very good race. On board with the number 36 Alpine coming in through the start-finish line, coming around to turn 1. Perhaps a little bit more careful with the speed there. You can see there that he dropped all the way down the first gear. In fact, took turn 1 at 6th gear instead of 7th gear.
3:18, we're not going to catch up to him. Okay, 3:40 as opposed to 3:37. That's 3 seconds.
Right now we are looking at every corner and every turn to see if we are gaining time or losing time. A lot of work behind the wheel here of the number 8.
So we're going to have about 5 hours of driving like this left in the race.
Back with the number 36 Alpine into the second chicane. And I suppose we should be lucky that we have someone to race with, but it's certainly making this race challenging now. And I guess behind the number 38, we thought it was going to be an easy race as we were doing very dominant laps throughout the night and into the early morning. But once the sun started to pop out and daylight appeared, the track conditions definitely changed, mostly for the number 8, as we did not adapt. Here is the lead LMP2 into the pits of Oliver Jarvis. Back down on the ground and back to rolling. And I couldn't quite see who was that behind him in the pit lane. Obviously, it was not the second place LMP2.
3:16.
Again, going back to the data on the HUD or overlay on the lower left of your screen, the last lap for the number 8 was a 3:37. The last lap for the number 36 was a 3:40. So there's a difference of roughly 3 seconds there. And again, if you can do that or something similar to that consistently, we should be able to get back up to him before the end of the race. But again, it would have to be consistently. I think with every spin or every off-track excursion, we lose about 8 to 10 seconds minimal. And that would erase about 3 to 5 laps.
Good lap.
That are done very well. In the last stint, we had 3 or 4 stints, and we saw there that it erased any advantage that we were trying to put together. So again, the number 1 goal, the number 1 plan here for the number 8 is to put in good, consistent laps. They don't have to be the fastest, but they have to be just a little bit faster than the 36, and they have to be consistent. Now, throughout the stint, certainly the conditions change. Obviously, as the sun gets higher up, as the day goes later, the track temperature will rise. The tires, as we lap every stint, will degrade to a certain level or a certain degree, and the drivability of the car changes, as well as the temperature of the tarmac.
That may be the lead LMP2.
And then we also have just a little bit of traffic to contend with. A car like that, an LMP2, again, very fast throughout the slower, curvy sections of the track here, as they are just as fast as the hypercars. They can cost us 5 or 6 seconds very easily, waiting for them to, again, come through the slow sections. And that would be, for an example, the end of the Porsche curves, or even coming in through one of the 2 chicanes here on the Mulsanne straight. Here we are coming into the Mulsanne corner. There is an LMP2 just ahead of us, and he will stay ahead of us just for a little bit longer. And you can see here that we will have to get back around him. And again, that can cost us time as we lap. So a lot of variables here is still left to face until the end of the race. Obviously, there's also attrition that we've seen a lot of. It's very possible that perhaps the Alpine can run out of fuel if they don't strategize their pit stops. It's very possible that we could also have very bad damage as we circle around here. One spin into the barriers can cause a lot of damage to the car. So 5 hours to go. A lot of things can still happen here. We are in second place, but the possibilities are still there as long as we remain on the same lap. We are now 3 minutes and 14 seconds behind the Alpine, so we've made up about 30 seconds here on the stint. I believe at the beginning we were about 3:46. And this is the only way to do it.
That was tough.
So that was just another example of exiting the S's with an LMP2 just ahead. We will have to find our way around the other cars on the field, and certainly that will change your track and slow you on the track itself.
33.
Lap 3:36.55.
There is the third place Mustang. As we come around him, it's going to change the point
That
where
Mustang
we brake.
certainly took us offline.
And that will slow us down. You can see now that we are just a half a second behind as we come out of Tetra Rouge. Looking at the data on the steering wheel, our fastest lap on the stint is a 3:35.5. Right now we are projected at 3:36.0. The timing on the last lap shows that the number 8 had a 3:36. The 36 here had a 3:40. So the advantage continues on. And again, if we can still just make up 3 to 5 seconds on every lap.
All right, it looks like he is experiencing a lot of slowdowns. That last
would
lap
be
cost
the
him 4 minutes.
best direction to get back up to the front. Number 8 through Indianapolis. A clear track ahead of us now. A quick look on the map shows that the number 36 is just coming out of the Mulsanne corner. You can see there on the map that there is a little bit of distance that we have gained. Again, that is about 30 seconds on the number 36 during this stint alone. that lap, a 3:37, so a couple of seconds slow, but still reasonable. Again, if the number 36 is going to keep lapping at about 3:40, this is still just a little bit faster.
Turn in.
Coming out of Tetra Rouge, we are starting our 10th lap of the stint. Looking at the data below, we have
3:39,
23%.
so he did make up some time on that last lap.
We still have 23% of virtual energy, 4.9 gallons of fuel, and right now we are burning at 1.98, so that is at least a couple of laps of fuel and at least a couple of laps of virtual energy. One of those laps will be exhausted once we come around to cross the start-finish line. Again, these laps here at Le Mans are very long. Back to the 36, you can see here that he is still confidently tracking around the Circuit de la Sarthe. Out of Tetra Rouge and down the Mulsanne Straight.
Good exit.
This is the number 8 once again. We are just about to drive into the Mulsanne corner. As we sweep right before we get into the corner, we start braking.
Slow turn.
Again, very moderately at the start. As we straighten out of the right sweep, then we brake harder and harder until we get into the corner. A very complicated braking zone as we are going very fast out of the straight. This is the second chicane for the number 36.
So right now he is more than 30 seconds behind.
A 3:37 and a 3:39 for the Alpine on the last lap. So still a couple of seconds in between the two. There we are as we cross the start-finish line. The pit crew is calling us in, so we will be coming in at the end of this lap. Right now we have 60%, 1/6 of virtual energy, so that should be able to do another couple of laps. And we have 3.2 gallons of fuel. Obviously, that's not going to be another lap after this, and that is the reason why we're coming in. We could probably try to struggle around and stretch ahead maybe just a little bit, but I don't think it would be enough. But it would certainly slow us down. So we will come in.
Actually did okay on virtual energy. It's very possible we could have done another lap after this. So we are going to turn that up. Turn up our fuel ratio. So on this stint, we didn't do any fuel saving at all, and you can see we are going to make it to lap 11. We could probably have tried to make it to 12 with just a little bit, maybe 5% of fuel savings.
So coming in at the end of the stint, you can see that we are now only 3 minutes and 6 seconds behind the Alpine. So in this stint, we have gained 40 seconds. Obviously, all of that is going to change once again once he comes into the pits, as we are also coming in. Now, I don't think he'll be coming in at the same time we are.
So the extra 1.5 pounds of air pressure did not do anything to lower the temperature, but the tires definitely feel better. I may try that with the rear tires on the next stint, and I might keep going up on the pressure for the front.
So as you can see, we are dealing with a lot of variables here, and obviously, if you are going to be racing in Le Mans Ultimate,
tire life has pretty much equalized on all 4 corners, which is very good considering we were charging hard on the stints. But we didn't have any spins and no damage.
yes, once again, if you are going to be racing in Le Mans Ultimate and hoping to experience all the different variables and challenges here,
oh, spoke too soon.
you'll have to make time to do longer races. A 15 or 20 minute race, similar to what you'll see on the online racing, is not really reflective of all the different variables that you can experience here with Le Mans Ultimate, unfortunately. I think the addition of being able to save while coming into the pits was a great addition.
20 seconds on that stint.
And here we are 2:53, roughly
It's
ahead
really definitely
of
cutting it close.
or behind the number 36.
Very good run there. 1.4 gallons, 8% virtual energy. Again, we could have made it all the way around again. So that is going to do it for the stint. It is now noon. 4 hours and 30 minutes left in the race.
We thank you for watching this event at Driving Immersion. And remember, for more exciting racing ahead, give us a like and click on subscribe or follow so you don't miss out on the next race event. We'll see you next time.